I'm backing up my truck, I'm gonna hook it up, loading up my boat with all my gear. I've been working hard all week, trying to make ends meet, spending time wishing I was fishing. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing. Gather up your gear and come along. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing.
This is Terry Wickstrom. Join Karen Cullum, Greg Claudio, and me as we take you to some of our favorite fishing spots from Colorado to Minnesota, the Arctic Circle to Central America and beyond. As we revisit episodes of Mountain States Fishing and Angling Adventures Television on the best of fishing with Terry Wickstrom.
And this is their first trip out this year too, right? Second. Oh,
Actually, we're out here on the shores of Lake McConaughy. I'm with Ron Seelhoff. It's good to see you again, Ron, I think.
hopefully.
Ron and I were going to take some of these young men out fishing for catfish today, but the weather got a little bit windy and rainy on us. So instead of taking them out in the boat, getting them wet and cold, these guys were too excited not to take them fishing, and Ron and I will fish in just about anything. So we're going to try a little catfishing offshore. Why don't we introduce these guys? Why don't you tell me your names?
Bo Thielander,
Bo Thielander,
Levi Ulrich,
Levi Olick,
Jeremiah Ulrich,
Jeremiah Olick,
Jesse Thielander.
Jesse Thielander. And you guys like to fish a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, are we going to catch some fish today?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite fish?
Bass.
All right.
I think I've been, he told you to say that, didn't he? Nope. Okay.
Ron, why don't you show us a little bit about what we're going to be using here, explain the rig, how we're rigging it, and just what we're doing here.
Okay, it's really a real simple one. People have been fishing like this for years. We're going to use probably 3 to 4 ounce weight because the wind's blowing. We want it to hold the lines out there. And then I use a number 4 hook. It's plenty big enough. Sometimes these fish are a little bit, use too big of a hook and they're not real aggressive. So we're just going to go with a 4 ounce weight and like a number 4 hook here. And what we've done is picked up some shad that were along the shoreline.
These were just dead shad that washed in, right?
Yeah, and you can also buy these in town, and they're referred to as shad guts, and they're really kind of nasty things. Most guys don't like to even bait their hooks with these. And then what I do is I put a little bit of that on there. There's a lot of blood sent in there. And then I have a little piece of meat I'm going to put on there with it. So that'll kind of hold it on there. A piece a little too big. And we're going to put just a little piece of meat on there. That way we got a lot of scent, and those catfish can smell it.
Well, I think what's happening is these catfish, this time of the year, you get the dead bait that wash up, and the water's starting to warm. It's early in the year. It's we're just barely, not even into April yet. We're at the end of March, and the water's cold, but as the water warms, those dead bait fish wash up, those catfish coming to eat them, and that's exactly what we're using for bait.
Yeah, there's 2 reasons they're here, and this is one of them. They're also kind of staging, getting ready to work themselves up the river, but they're in here feeding on these shad that's died this spring. So.
And since we didn't take the boat, and we want to get these rods out far enough from shore these kids can catch some fish, Ron has volunteered to walk out in the cold water and cast it out for us.
Exactly. No. Now you got to wrap this around. I told you didn't know what you were doing. You got to wrap this around there a couple times. So you want to see that? You didn't even have that on there. You got to hook it through that hard part, so that'll stay there. Then you want to hook it through the guts and wrap it a couple times. 3 times. Now, see, you thought you were so smart. Now you just learned something, didn't you? Why don't you tell everybody what you just learned? That you weren't as smart as you thought you were, right?
That I'm not real good with shad guts.
Yeah. Wait till you smell your fingers. You think it's bad now. Then we put a little bit of piece of meat on there just to hang on to it. Hold them guts for me, boys. They're going to be all over me. There we go. All right, now I'm going to throw this out because I know you can't throw this out.
I'm not doing too well today, so why don't you handle that? You know, you can cast, and I thought you were just a troller.
Just easy. We'll get him up here. Grab him by the, there you go. That's good. Grab him by the horns. Handle him just like a bull. There we go. Let's take him up here. Watch out, you're in the line. Did you go under it?
We got one. Who reeled that in? Come on here and hold it for the camera, whoever reeled it in.
Hang on to him like I got him right there. See how I got my fingers around him, and then push your hand down right. You do it?
You gotta get underneath those gills.
Underneath them.
Just watch out they don't poke you.
So you got to get your fingers in there like that. Well, let's unhook. Let's take him up here like this, and we'll put your finger in his mouth.
Now you're Levi?
Oh, keep him. We're gonna not only keep him, but we're gonna eat him.
Levi got the first one. Nice catfish. These are channels, aren't they?
Channel catfish.
Yeah, we got nice. Levi, have you caught catfish before?
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Is that a pretty nice one? Did he fight good? Well, where are we gonna keep him, Ron?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get a bucket here. They're having fun now. ain't
They are. They got a fish, so we're going. You know what? That cold wind seems a lot warmer once you get a fish on the
Yep.
line, doesn't it? Well, the bucket got heavy when you put water. Yeah, they're having a good time. Well, we won't get skunked.
No. We won't get skunked. We never get skunked. These boys asked me earlier, do I ever go fishing on TV and not catch any fish?
Say not on TV, you don't.
No.
That's just like in the magazines and on the radio. I catch a lot of fish.
Yeah. Okay. Who wants to go get the bait for me?
Let's go get another one.
Go get
rigged
that
up.
sack. He hasn't got a clue what he's doing. He's trolling. Go right through the hard part of that gut. Twist and wrap it around there a few times. Like that. And we'll put a little bit of meat on there. Kind of like making a sandwich. That ain't kind of sandwich I'd like to eat. You guys like to eat that?
No.
Yeah. All right. And now hold. What you want to do is put the pole. There you go. So see that. Now feel if he's pulling. We'll get it up here now. Now just stop right there and watch the line. Now you've done this right. Now see how the line's pulling tight. You want to tighten up and sneak up on him, and when you get ready to set the hook, then rear back. Okay? Now you're on your own now. When you start, when you think he's pulling on it, give him a good hook set. Kind of pick up on it and see if you can feel. Now pick your rod tip up just a little. Got him.
Keep reeling.
Keep him reeling.
Keep
there
reeling.
You go.
Don't pump.
Reel.
Just keep reeling. Keep the line tight. Keep the line
I
tight.
think he just came off. Have you got him?
Yep.
Huh?
Yep, I think so.
Keep reeling. Keep the line tight. Got him?
Done pretty good. Like you got to be ready when you make that first hook set to stick right in there. Got to keep him coming over top of them trees. Tighten that up a little bit.
Keep reeling. Keep the line tight so he doesn't get that hook out of him.
Did he pull him back?
Yeah.
Huh?
So big.
Okay, you want to slow down a little bit and then get him up. Keep the rod pointed, keep him bent pretty good. There you go. Always be ready if he takes off the other way. Look there.
There you go. All right.
Oh, but he's good eating.
Yeah. All right. Good job.
Open his mouth. Stick your finger in his mouth. Get the hook out. Somebody run get some bait and let's get her back out there, huh?
Okay.
Not real big, but he's a good eater.
All right. Go put him in the bucket, and we got another one. We're starting to get a few.
Yeah.
Way to go. Good job. Show him to the camera. All right. Good job.
You're next, right?
Well, that's a nice one.
Okay, that's good. There you go. Got him? All right.
Yeah, I got the biggest one. Yeah, it is.
All right. Show him how to do it, catch ball. You have to take him like this. You've handled them before, ain't you? Who taught you how to do that? Your dad? Well, you tell him he's a good teacher. There we go. You want to take him? Throw him in the bucket. You don't like to eat them, do you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This one.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hey, my fish! My fish!
There you go. Put one hand up here. This hand up there. There you go. Bring him on in. Reel him. No. Any fish is a good fish, right?
Yeah.
That's every time Terry Wickstrom gets one, he says any fish is a good fish. You still there? Oh yeah. Oh, guess what? That's about the size old Terry Wickstrom catches too. What are you doing? Where's the game warden at? Did he touch that pole? He hasn't got a license, you know that.
Getting kids out fishing is important.
Sure.
You know, you and I, we grew up, it was part of our culture growing up. And some of the best times I've had with my kids is when we're out fishing and there's no TV, no telephone, no video game. And I know it was an important part of my life and I really enjoy it and it's something special. And when I see one of these kids grab that and their face lights up, there's something really neat about that. And the fact that you're willing to give your time to take these kids out fishing and do that, that says a lot about you too.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of fun taking them, and actually, whenever you were talking about this, if you look over here in this area and across the way, my dad brought me up here over 30 years ago when I was about that boy's age from eastern Colorado. So, and I've never forgot it yet. I can remember coming to Lake McConaughy, doing exactly what we're doing right now, catfishing, which you know, we don't care a lot of times what kind of fish we catch, as long as we're out there being in the open and enjoying, and this is just kind of a reason to be out here. You wouldn't want to just come out here and sit and not do anything, and then the excitement getting a fish, and then also enjoying the end results, getting to eat the fish, and you put the whole package together, and that's what it's all about.
I know it's an important part of my life, and you can see the joy in these kids' faces, and it's just something I wouldn't have traded for anything.
Yeah, and you know, encouraging for more people to take their kids when they can fishing.
Yeah, enjoy the outdoors.
Sport.
Oh yeah, get your kids out.
I have no idea where I'd have been in my life if my dad hadn't took time to take me fishing, because sometimes as bad as things got or the other temptations that we have in our life growing up, I always come back to the outdoors, fishing and hunting.
Well, Ron, you think these guys proved their worth today?
No, I don't think they had a very good time. You guys have a good day?
Yeah.
You don't want to go again, do you?
Yeah.
You think that they're good enough fishermen where someday maybe they'll be taking our jobs?
Yeah, I hope so. There's a couple of them that most definitely got it in their blood for sure.
Do you guys like fishing?
Yeah.
You know what I think you really ought to do? Is you ought to thank Mr. Ron Seelhoff, because he's the one who made this possible for you to go out and have fun catching these catfish.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, let's clean some of these fish. Ready? Yeah. Okay, bring me some water, and I'll show you how to do this. Now, how many fillets are there on each fish? Two fillets on every fish, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what we're gonna do here, we got an electric knife. We're gonna make that. As soon as we feel it hit the bone, we kind of stop. We turn our knife. Let it follow the bone. Sounds about like getting a haircut, don't it? Look at there. Now, one of you guys pick that up, put it in that water. Turn the fish over. What do you think of that? Quicker than getting a haircut too, huh?
Yeah, really.
All right. We do another one. Grab him by the horns. Feel it hit there. Feel your knife run down on the backbone. Turn it over. Pick it up. If you pick that up real quick, put him in the water. You think I've done this a time or two?
Yeah.
Make it look easy?
Yeah.
This is almost fun as catching them, ain't it?
Yeah.
Is this a little quicker than the way you do it?
Yeah.
See how you feel your knife going just as soon as it touches? And then run it. Real important to have the angle just right, see? Throw that over. I'm in the water. Uh-oh, guess what?
What?
We're out of fish. All right. Now what we do, we'll take these catfish fillets. There's only, stand back just a little bit. There's only a very few little bones right here you got to take out. Put your knife in there like that. Don't want to throw away too much meat. You know why? That's right, and they're awful good eating. See that? There won't be one bone in there. Now what you might want to do too sometimes, put a little bit of salt in there and let them soak in salt water just overnight, not very long. Because if you put too much salt in there and leave them too long, then they get too salty. Because it takes a little bit of the oil out. And we don't ever like to freeze them. We like to eat them right away. You know why? Because they're so good, yep. And they're better. If you can't eat them, give them to somebody that needs a few. Suppose we ought to give Mr. Wickstrom some of these. He didn't catch any, did he? See what we got? Good job. When are we going to go again?
Next week.
Next week? Why we had to wait so long? Can we just go again today? As soon as we put on some dry clothes? All right.
Are you ready to be civil now?
I don't know. We can try it.
Well, you know, Ron, we had a great day today. We took those kids out catfishing, and that was great, and I enjoyed that. And before we get on to talking a little bit more here, I want to say something that you and I get to have a lot of fun going fishing, and it's kind of nice to give some of that back to those kids and take them out like that, and I appreciate you setting that up.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be remiss if I was spending the day with one of the better walleye fishermen in the United States.
Catching catfish.
Catching catfish. But also, I fished with Ron, and his knowledge of trolling and his ability to catch walleyes. Well, he's one of the top anglers in the country, there's no doubt. Angler of the Year in 1995. Several top finishes, tournament wins, in the top money winners of all time. The credentials speak for themselves. So I'd be remiss if I had the chance to be with Ron and we didn't get him to share some of his knowledge with us. Don't you think that'd be a good idea?
You might not have enough time.
As a troller, trolling. People have a lot of concepts of trolling. Some people think it's dragging lures around a lake, just endlessly waiting to find a fish. Some people think it isn't fun. You've really taken trolling to a science. I mean, and there's a lot of knowledge and finesse involved, and you're probably among the best, if not the best, of trolling that I've ever fished with. And I'd like you to talk to the people a little bit, and maybe we can share some of the things, some of your knowledge on trolling.
Shad raps are probably one of the most consistent lures on any body of water. Number one reason that the average fisherman, you won't find one out of these out of 100 that doesn't run true. And you can also run them up to 4 and 5 mile an hour and they still run true. There are very few lures on the market today that can do that. That's why these are a good all-around lure. Now, we get into some of our other wider lip lures that want to wobble a little. If they get off just a little bit, then they spin out on you. And some lures have speeds that you cannot go over. If you do, they're going to spin out on you, go one side to the other. But these particular lures, you can go from 1.5 miles to up to, I never go over 3.5 miles an hour. It might look like it at times, but you know, and they will still, sometimes they just have their same pattern to them.
So it's really important to know how the lures run and understand what you're using. Now, do you put those lures down in the water and look at them to see how they're running before you go?
The shad raps I get as much lax with as any of them, but I've mentally, I seldom ever let a lure out without looking at it in the water. And when it looks right to me, then I will use the speed and everything. That's how I generally tell what looks right. And then there's some days when a little bit slower makes a slight amount of difference and maybe going a little bit faster. Then you get in current, see? It all changes again. If you're in river current, you're barely moving, but the current of the water is moving so fast that your boat may barely be moving and this lure is still keeping the same speed that you want. If we're going through numbers of fish, every fish or matter of fact, especially when you get into big fish, you really got to monitor the way the lure runs. That's probably one of the...
So every time you catch a fish, you've got to put that lure by the boat and
And
watch
it just takes
run.
a second, if you know what you're looking for. I generally put it in the water, give my rod a quick pull forward, which is actually faster than what I'm trolling, and that will tell me instantly, because the more speed, where it runs good at 1 mile an hour, if you kick it up to 3.5, it's going to tell you.
So you're telling me run it in the boat and then pull your rod forward, so you
Yes.
speed up the lure and you get an idea of how it's running.
Exactly.
One other thing, you were talking about bending hooks. Hooks
Yes.
are probably a good subject. Now here we have one without hooks on it. You
Yes.
take the factory hooks off most of these, don't you?
Yes.
Tell us why.
Well, I use, and one of my sponsors is Gamakatsu, and they have one of the sharpest, finest hooks on the market. And not that these other hooks don't catch fish, but if you're fishing for a lot of money, you know, you want every advantage and every edge that you can. And I have not found a hook that will hold up any longer or is any sharper than the Gamakatsu hooks. And you can even reach in the bag and you hardly can't come out with one. You'll have 2 or 3 just sticking on your finger. They're that sharp. So.
Yeah, I know we were talking before. You showed you hung one on your hand and the hooks just stay there.
Exactly.
You know, trolling's a great way to cover water and catch fish. And some people like Ron Seelhoff have really made a science out of trolling. And it takes hours and time on the water. But I hope you picked up a few little tips that'll get you started. And I think if anybody would recommend it, I mean, you've won a lot of money pulling.
If you took a look at all these trophies around here, almost all of them, and I think there's 38 or 40, I don't know exactly, but I would say 70 or 80% of them crankbaits were a big part of the catch that got me those trophies. So,
get out, troll with some crankbaits, take some time, learn to use them, use some of the tips Ron gave you, and add it to the way you catch fish, and I think you'll find yourself catching more fish. Ron, thanks. Appreciate the time and the tips. And
Yep.
thanks for taking those kids out today, too. I had a great time.
it was a pleasure. Take your kids, take your dogs.
All right. And we'll see you next week on Mom Stays Fishing.
Like my pole holders?
Those are good. Those are good.
They don't cost much.
They're inexpensive.